Wire scams are turning into crypto scams. Right to repair is being seen in new Apple products. You'll be surprised why Black Matter ransomware gang is shutting down, and the cost of food is going up. Ransomware attacking milk plants doesn't help. All that and more next on the Computer Doctor Show.
You're listening to the Computer Doctor Show, your source for technology subjects affecting your business and personal life during this new normal. Your host is an award-winning office technician and IT specialist, author, tutor, ethical hacker, and recent winner on localbest.com as the best computer shop in Tucson. Broadcasting live, here's Aaron Moss.
Hello, Tucson and the podcast world, and happy Critical Infrastructure Security Month to you all. Welcome to the Computer Doctor Show, your headquarters for up-to-date scam awareness, science, and cutting-edge technology talk. This is episode 69. I am Aaron Moss, your host. Thanks for tuning in with us every Saturday at 2 p.m. We post all of our shows and bonus content on computerdoctorshow.com. Again, computerdoctorshow.com. Our open lines, 520-790-2040. Feel free to call in anytime with your comments and questions and complaints we can answer. Co-hosting today is Cy from the cast of the Unscrewed Theater. Hey, Cy.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me today.
It's always great when you're with us. Thank you so much for coming. And I just want to say the Computer Doctor Show is sponsored by the expert technicians at Perfection Auto Works near Speedway and Craycroft. They have a free 26-point inspection. I've had my car serviced there myself with that 26-point inspection. It is very thorough. It's awesome. Give them a call for an appointment, 323-8650. We're gonna take a quick break from the regular news and get into what's happening in tech news this week. So, scams. We've talked so much about scams in this show. So when wire scams are turning into crypto scams, and what I mean by a wire scam is ultimately you end up wiring money to somebody we don't know. Okay, and the way that they get the money varies. So it could be by wire. That's like Western Union or MoneyGram, something similar to that. And these third parties, the reason why they like them is because it's anonymous. Okay, and it's instant, and that's what they like. They like something instant, anonymous. Okay, they don't care how much it costs, but it's out there. So the FBI put out this warning a couple of days ago about scammers using cryptocurrency ATMs. So if you're in a mall or in some sort of public place, usually in a place that you would find an ATM, we might start seeing more and more of these crypto ATMs. Have you ever used a crypto ATM?
No, I'm not in the crypto world at all.
I am in the crypto world now, thank you very much, but I have not used an ATM. I've seen videos of how they work, and basically you can put money into these machines or get money out if you have an account, a crypto wallet of some sort. They're primarily used for Bitcoin that I've seen, but other Litecoins, Litecoin, Ethereum, and there's probably about 50, probably close to a few hundred different coins out there now. But Bitcoin has these ATMs, and the warning is that if you're trying to send somebody, if somebody is asking for money using these crypto ATMs, it's probably a scam. The same way that if somebody immediately asks you for money through a wire, it's probably a scam. So we want to make sure that we're careful with these, and scammers are not new to crypto, because a lot of times when, for example, if we get ransomware, how do they usually want payment if you get ransomware?
These days it's crypto.
It is crypto.
Yeah.
Crypto is not very traceable, but that's not 100% true. I would say it's 99.99% untraceable. Okay, there have been some cases where the United States government was able to track it down to the wallet. They couldn't identify who owned the wallet, but they knew that the transaction was from this wallet. So, make sure our phones are off. So we want to make sure that, and this is for everyone's benefit, don't use these crypto ATMs for the use of paying somebody else. Okay, if you do that, it's probably a scam. We're going to post the FBI warning on our website, computerdoctorshow.com. Also, the right to repair is being seen in some new Apple products. Back on episode 52, we had reported on the right to repair movement, which is a group of people that believe that if you own something, that you have the right to repair it. We were talking before the show, Cy, about John Deere and Apple are kind of like the main manufacturers. These are just two examples of how some companies protect the service and supply chain of their products. And we can add to that the printers. We can add other products, printers and copiers, cars. This gets involved with cell phones. Anytime where you have a product that needs service later on can be involved with this. So what the right to repair movement is doing and how this is actually starting to affect Apple, there are some people over at iFixit. You had mentioned iFixit.
Yes, we use it a great deal in my office.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Okay. Well, their job is going to start getting easier because the new 2021 MacBook Pros, they had some experts open them up to see how easy it is to swap batteries, swap RAM, swap memory, that kind of thing. And they're starting to get easier and easier to work with.
Yes.
Besides having a pentalobe tip, which is like a 5-point screwdriver tip, like a star.
And always insisting on them being T0, the tiniest ones you can get.
Or, so that's just an example of how companies, how they try to what's called monopolize the service and supplies part of their products. And so earlier this year, President Biden signed a declaration that trying to break up these monopolized products and services. And he's trying to say that you cannot do that. You cannot stop people from fixing something that they've purchased. If they own it, they should be able to repair it. And looks like Apple is responding because now they're making it a little bit easier. So we want to thank Apple for being good with that. And here's the question: where would if right to repair continues on in the future, and we have all these do-it-yourself videos on YouTube, manufacturers would be providing the proprietary tools, dawn to fix the service, to dawn and fix and service yourself may arise, and as things continue on, it may be to the point where we can buy something, and now we can also buy the tools in order to fix it ourselves, like that pentalobe tip.
Yep.
Okay, you could actually start to buy that directly from Apple. There are other third parties that sell it, but now they would be able to provide it.
Yeah, and it certainly would be a great boon to a lot of folks who are capable of fixing the simplest of things, and it it potentially changes what the warranty looks like. But
you're gonna. I'm pretty certain that the warranty is still going to.
If you've touched it, the warranty may be null and void. Is often the case. Is often the danger. But there were times within certainly the Apple sphere where elements of it were still. They removed the removable battery in their laptops a while back. So you couldn't buy a third-party battery after a while, and so on. So those kinds of things may be the things that start to sneak back in.
Yeah, the glues and the tapes and the epoxies are like among the most difficult. One of the reasons why I don't mess with opening up mobile devices is I can never get that seal just right to get it back closed. I've tried it. I've put it under 10 books and left it in the bookshelf for a weekend, and it would still come apart.
Always the risk with all-in-ones too, like an iMac.
All right. Also, as the cost of food is going up, ransomware attacking milk plants doesn't help. So there's this company called Schreiber Foods. It's one of the biggest milk plants in Wisconsin. They make cheese, cream cheese, and yogurt. That's their specialties, right? And the plants and distribution centers are back up and running after a ransomware attack took down their systems a few weeks ago. And the cyber event caused all of their locations not to operate.
Yikes.
So I was assuming that that Wisconsin was one of the states where milk had spiked all the way up to, I think there are some people that were like over $10 a gallon.
Wow.
But those are only rumors and reports that I've heard on tech calls. Happy to know that they're back up and running. They had a ransomware demand of $2.5 million, likely from the Black Matter cyber gang. And we're going to have more about them in just a second. But we're going to take our midway commercial break with a word from our sponsors. Up next, why Black Matter cyber gang is shutting down, and could this make the way for cyber bounty hunters, and some tech anniversaries for this week. This is the Computer Doctor Show. Stay tuned.
Long ago and from a distant land, a beautiful ship named the Mayflower sailed towards the New World. But many folks don't know it almost didn't make it. At about mid-ocean, the main spar cracked. But then came a voice from below decks.
I can fix that, Governor.
Aye, and who might you be?
Eustace Emery, Governor. Fixer of fine mechanical instruments. Horologist, actually.
Horologist, eh? Strange, no one's invented the chronometer yet. Oh well, if you can fix the mast, do it. And so the voyage was saved.
Land ho! Big rock. Looks like a Plymouth. I wonder why it won't start.
And so the legend goes that almost 400 years ago, the ancestors of Mike Emery came over on the Mayflower and began fixing things. If you're looking for a mechanic about whom
Computer Doctor of Tucson is the best choice in desktop support in Tucson. They fix error messages, power and boot problems, install of software and hardware, and much more. You can come to them, or they can come to you, or even have a remote support session so they can fix your issues over the phone quickly. Give them a call at 261-5508, 261-5508. Visit them on the web at computerdoctortucson.com. Computer Doctor of Tucson, because technology is great when it works.
Welcome back to the Computer Doctor Show, your source for scam awareness, science, and cutting-edge technology talk. I'm Aaron Moss, your host, along with Cy, co-hosting today from the Unscrewed Theater. Here are some announcements for this week. Meta, formerly Facebook, is working on a smartwatch to no doubt compete with the Apple Watch and to interact with their new metaverse concepts, and we're going to see how that goes. I also saw a video recently of a communication principal from Elon Musk who employs to avoid acronyms whenever possible in his organizations. So it's a principle that I have heard, and I am now embracing, and I am now employing it on this show. And since my commitment is to you, our listeners, it is to your better understanding of technology that we will also start avoiding acronyms whenever possible on this show.
Interesting.
But when it comes for basic things like FBI, I mean, we don't have to say Federal Bureau of Investigation. You know, things like the CISA, the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency. I'm going to start saying that. Or CISA.
The IT world is certainly a bowl of alphabet soup if you're not careful.
Yes, and it promotes a lot of bad understanding. I also want to congratulate my friends Ryan and future Melody Preciado. They're getting married later today at 4 p.m. at the Botanical Garden here in Tucson.
Oh, congratulations.
I won't be there in person, but I will be there electronically. We have an incoming call from Charles Heller. Are you there, sir?
Yeah, I wanted to ask a quick question. There's been a controversy for a long time about, I believe it's John Deere tractors that have a lot of electronics in them, and the farmers, they're being prohibited from fixing them themselves because it's required to have because it's required to have certain software updates that can't be done at the user level. They have to be done at the dealer. And farmers have been hacking into their own machines' computers to be able to fix them so that they could make them user fixable. How does that relate to what you're talking about with what the administration did in terms of changing policies so that people could buy the tools to fix their own stuff? Also, I hear that Musk is going to solve the milk pricing by publishing BitCow.
I thought you said.
I'll take my answer on the. What? I'm sorry.
I thought you were going to say he was going to import some cows from Mars.
There you go.
No, the Martian cows are somewhat desiccated.
Ba-dum-bum.
Okay. But I would like to hear my answer on the air of the original question about how that relates, and I'll listen. Thank you.
Thanks, Charles. So the answer to your question, I would be
I believe the John Deere that basically that I believe, I don't know for sure. Don't quote me on this one, but I believe that you will see them starting to find their restrictions having to relax as well, if I understand things correctly, much like the way Apple's work, because those are the two that keep getting touted as the ones the most locked down that people would like to be able to repair themselves. So I don't know how it's going to play out in the details, but I suspect that John Deere will face the same kind of relaxed restrictions.
And this is coming from the top down.
Yeah.
Okay. This is coming from the President of the United States and all of the authority that carries, and it also goes back to the foundations that the United States was stood on, how they treat monopolies. We don't like monopolies. Right. Okay. Right. Anytime there's a monopoly happening, there's too much power, and people don't like it. So they're trying to separate entities of Facebook. They're separating entities of Apple, John Deere. No doubt, they might even separate all the software from John Deere into a totally separate deal altogether.
I think that a lot of this, though, is also coming from the concepts of personal property. What you're saying is like, if I own it, I should be able to fix it. And I think they're sort of bottom-up kind of concepts, too. So I think it's going to take time, like you say, because at this point it's just been sort of an executive directive. So
okay.
We'll see what happens.
We have a comment or question from Gary on line 1.
Good afternoon, folks.
Yes.
Since we're dealing with Bitcoin, I would like your opinion. I've been looking at something called Coinbase, and I'd like to see if you could give me a review of it if you know it and know the ins and outs.
I will give Coinbase a 5-star review. They are a great place to handle your buying and selling. Coinbase is equivalent to an electronic a market person. Like if you want to invest in the stock market, you don't get on the plane and travel to New York and walk in the doors of the New York City Stock Exchange and wave $100 bill and give it to somebody that's running around. You deal with a broker. A broker. Yeah. So that's exactly what Coinbase is. It's basically an electronic broker. They do a great job. The only downside, or I guess competition level that they are what their rates are. So every time you buy or sell, there's something like a $14.95 or a $12.95 fee, transaction fee. But I use it. It's great. I invested $300 of Shiba coin, and it's up almost 3 times right now. So I'm happy about that. So. But make sure you do your research. A good place to go to do research is Discord. There's a lot of groups on Discord, which is another social media, and they can help you with your research. Hope that answers your question.
Okay. So it's more like a Robinhood, but better, and it's really not meant for personal banking.
That is a financial decision that you're going to have to research and figure out yourself if you want to start using crypto as your banking. So your head is in the right place. I would not replace your traditional banking with crypto because traditional banking is guaranteed by the FDIC. Crypto is not. It's more of a gamble. So if there's a set aside amount of money that you're depending on, like for, say, retirement, I would not take that out because you can lose it. Yeah, you can lose it. So, but be careful out there, Gary. Do your research. Very, very important.
Still a very volatile world, crypto.
Thanks for your question, Gary. Before we get into our next segment, Cy, what can you tell us about the Unscrewed Theater?
Excellent. Well, tonight we have 2 shows. One of them is free at 6 o'clock. We have a student showcase. We've just concluded a musical games class that I taught. where students learned the kinds of games you might see on Whose Line Is It Anyway, where they sing, and they'll be doing a showcase showing off what they've learned at 6. And at 7:30, we have our Not Burnt Out, Just Unscrewed family-friendly show. And then next Friday, we have another 7:30 Not Burnt Out, Just Unscrewed, at which we will be giving away 2 tickets to Who's Live Anyway, which is Greg Proops and Ryan Stiles and Jeff Davis and Joel Murray on tour, and they'll be at the Fox Theater on November 20th. We're giving away 2 tickets to that at our Friday show next week. And then our Friday 9 o'clock show is also free, and it's our open mic, improv and more variety show called Fridays After Dark.
Super duper. Are any of the cast of the Unscrewed Theater going to be at Who's Live Anyway?
Yes, a handful of us. We will in fact have a table there. We've been partnering with the Fox to help promote that, and they're helping promote us through it, which is wonderful. It's a great partnership.
Super duper.
Yep. So we'll have a table there with some literature, and we'll tell you all about Unscrewed Theater if you come to that show.
All right. I just might go myself.
Excellent. It's going to be a fun time.
Here are some science and tech anniversaries. November 5th, 1955. Who knows? November 5th, 1955.
55 makes me want to say ENIAC?
No, it's Back to the Future Day. That's the date
of
course. Doc Brown invented the
flux capacitor.
Thank you very much. He hit his head on the sink. There we go.
Yep.
We know the whole story, right? And also, November 5th, 2007, Google introduced the Android program 14 years ago. So happy anniversary to Android. We've had it for 14 years and still going strong. With the time that we have left, I just wanted to go over this last segment here. You'll be surprised why the Black Matter ransomware gang is shutting down. So according to TechCrunch and other tech media I have surprisingly reported over the last few days that the Black Matter ransomware operation, which came to prominence earlier this year following the demise of the DarkSide ransomware gang, is allegedly shutting down due to pressure from the authorities. Quote, pressure from the authorities, unquote. And as well as 2 of their team members have gone missing. Yeah, so that's a little bit weird. Now, the governments provide governments and private companies offer bug bounty programs where monies are paid to white hat hackers to identify weaknesses within a security or computer system. Okay, so this is actually a job that you can actually get. You can be hired to find vulnerabilities in other people's systems. So the question is, are we ready for a cyber bounty force? The United States was formed the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, or CISA, and other countries have agencies equivalent. The question is, if all of these agencies got together, would that be enough to stop these cyber attacks altogether? So the question is, a digital bounty hunter. Now, these is not something that really exists only in the form of these small things where people are actually looking for the vulnerabilities in these systems. But could you imagine if there was a digital or cyber bounty put out, like a wanted poster,
Sure.
wanted Revel cyber gang leader?
You bet. I can imagine that a lot.
Or the server is wanted.
Right.
To find it.
Yep.
And shut it down.
Yep.
Where is it?
Companies offer bounties on bugs.
And if the price were high enough, hint, hint, if the price were high enough, somebody out there
Someone will
would
take
be willing
advantage.
to do that.
You bet.
Before we wrap up, I just want to thank our sponsor again, Perfection Auto Works, for sponsoring our show. My name is Aaron Moss, your host and technology expert. This is episode 69. Cy was co-hosting today. Tom Fairbanks is at the control board. Listen to the Computer Doctor Show every single week with new episodes every Saturday. Stay safe, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you again next week.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Computer Doctor Show. If you missed any part of this live broadcast, we post all our episodes online at computerdoctorshow.com. Remember, the world is getting more and more tech, and so should you. To stay current with technology, listen to the Computer Doctor Show each week for local and global tech insights. If you have suggestions for a topic on a future show, send us an email at info@computerdoctorshow.com.